website. International viewers can visit sankhyatv.com and view our live stream 24/7. Viewers in Belize can view Sankhya Television on Belize Central TV, Internet Cable Network, Channel 250. Viewers in Guyana can view Sankhya Television on Guyana Airlink Channel 13, as well as E-Networks Channel 8. Thank you for supporting Sankhya Television and watching Sankhya TV, the first Hindu TV station in Trinidad and Tobago, and your number one choice both locally and internationally for inspirational, cultural, and spiritual programming. Sankhya Television, the first Hindu TV station in Trinidad and Tobago, and your number one choice for cultural, inspirational, and spiritual programming, is not only available locally in Trinidad and Tobago, but also internationally via the Sankhya TV website. International viewers can visit sankhyatv.com and view our live stream 24/7. Viewers in Belize can view Sankhya Television on Belize Central TV, Internet Cable Network, Channel 250. Viewers in Guyana can view Sankhya Television on Guyana Airlink Channel. Good evening and welcome to Sankhya Television. And I sit once again with Mr. Lalchan Rampersad and his series, The Great Bible Fraud, where he continues to share with us his deep research into Hindu and Christian scripture. Today, the topic is Doctrine of Hindu's Origin. Once Hindu, always Hindu. So, Mr. Lalchan Rampersad, once again, thank you for being here with me.
Okay, thanks for having me. Okay. Well, I'll begin right away, as usual. Part 1. Doctrine of Hindu's Origin. Once Hindu, always Hindu. Hello everyone, my name is Lalchan Rampersad. I am here to present a research titled Doctrine of Hindu's Origin. Once Hindu, always Hindu. But first, I would like to thank authorities of Sankhya Television for permitting me to present this research. Doctrine of Hindu's Origin. Once Hindu, always Hindu. A brief off topic. Christians and Muslims created their own doctrines to claim ownership. Hindus have none. Why is that so? What is wrong with our leaders? Hindus viewing this video must understand that pundits are of poor leadership material and are without vision. Hindus must step forward into the arena and state your claims for ownership. Anything and everything. Once Hindu, always Hindu. As a start, this Bible. Christians must present evidence to prove ownership. Bible is Hindu history. Jesus is Ram, and he was teaching and preaching from 13,500. Right, we have it here. 13,500 BC to 1500 BC. At 1500 BC, Christians, Muslims, and Jews were cannibals and beggars and without language. It was Jesus, Ram, who was teaching and preaching to cannibals and beggars. It was 24 Hindus who wrote this Bible. 24 Hindus wrote this Bible. Christians have no title of ownership to Bible. All names of people, towns, cities, countries are of Hindu origin. So too are all languages. It was Hindus who presented everything to outside world. Once Hindu, always Hindu. Hindus have root title of ownership to everything in this world from origin. Hindus were owners of this world before others could speak a language. Bible is a history book of Lanka. Lanka is this is Lanka in the Middle East and Europe, right? Bible is not this is not a religious book. I must raise it again. Bible is not a religious book. Bible is a Hindu book. Come forward, refute claim. So I am making my claim and my statement, and once it's Hindu, it belongs to Hindu. So you have to state where you get this from and how did you make this. Okay? Genesis. I will present an analysis of Genesis to demonstrate to everyone of how Christians stole Hindu Bible. This is what? And have no knowledge of contents. I will explain how you have no knowledge on this contents. And anybody want to refute can always come forward. This research is to analyze each chapter of Genesis and to highlight the advanced mathematics and sciences presented by our Hindu ancestors. You are appointed judges for this research. Two scriptures, Bible and Ramcharita Manasa, are comprised of more than 90% literal history of Lanka, or Kingdom of Heaven. Lanka and Kingdom of Heaven. That is it there. It is 12 billions in Middle East and Europe. These are 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 billions in Middle East and Europe. That is Lanka. Or you can call it Kingdom of Heaven. Part 2. 4 heavens and 1 earth. This chart number 50. So we'll move on to this chart number 50 here. Right. Now, this part of research is to find measurements of 4 heavens. These are 4 heavens here. You'll see I have it: first heaven, second heaven, third heaven, fourth heaven. All right. Now, in Genesis 1:1, God created heavens and earth. Know that Christians who look up to sky as heavens are dumb. I'm making that statement very clear. When you ask the question, God made heaven and earth, where is it? They watch up into the sky and watch out. These are dumb people making this statement. That is the heaven this Bible is referring to. This is not making any statement towards that heaven that you know. The heaven that they referred here, you don't know it. So I'm explaining that. Right? Now God Ram constructed 4 heavens. These are the 4 heavens here. 4 yugas and 1 earth, or 1 Vedi. This is the earth here. This is the plan that you have to use. If you didn't have that, you have no knowledge on this Bible, first page. All right? Hindus refer to these 4 yugas, there's also 4 yugas, right, as a measurement of time. They are completely wrong. Each yuga is an area with length and width and has nothing to do with time. Now, if you go to Revelation 21:16, it says first and second heavens house 12 buildings, right? This is here, the first and second heaven house 12 buildings, right? 2 heavens were square, measuring 1,500 miles for length and width. This is Lanka. This gives you exact measurement. Different Bibles give different measurement, but I take this from Good News Translation. And you're getting 1,500 miles for length and 1,500 miles for width, meaning it is a square, right? The total area for heavens, there's 2 heavens there, is 2,250,000 square miles, right? If you want to know, the perimeter will be 6,000 miles. Now, during horse sacrifice festival, I'll have to put up back this one. How this end up getting there behind that? All right. During horse sacrifice festival, it took 35 years for Ram to go around once to each of those buildings, right? To complete that 6,000 miles, because you're getting 6,000 miles here, around here, this is the perimeter, right? If you want to check the speed, you just use the simple formula, distance over time. You'll get in it at 171 miles per year. Now Ram left first and second heavens at 12,000 years, right? So he leave this area at 12,000 years. Now, distance of 2 heavens is speed by time. You'll get 2 million miles. He travels in 12,000 years. This is distance of Satya and Treta Yuga traveled by Ram. Yugas or heavens are distances, not time. So the pundits keep saying, we live in Kali Yuga. What time is that? You know the time? All right. We're going to Ramcharita Manasa to find the area or the distance. Now, I made the statement the last time that this Ramcharita Manasa means 1 and 15 zeros, which is 1,000 trillion. I did not state what it means. But when you go to page 29, verse 7, verse states spirits. So what are the spirits that this author is referring to? We have to find out. Now, 1,000 trillion spirits for length and width is a square. Now, page 30, verse 5 states Holy Lake Forest. Verse refers to area of Lanka. So this is the area that we're looking at the Ramcharita Manasa, right? Now, page 554, verse 5, whole of Lanka. But the verse is saying end to end is area of Satya and Treta Yuga. So these heavens have a dimension that people don't know. They don't know they have a dimension. When you talk about heaven have a could they measure that one that they watch it up in the sky? You see, so all of these things is that people reading and reading. All right, we're going to part 3. We have 7 sages. Now, this 7 sages, I made I made a lot of explanation with it, and these are the 7 sages here. Okay? Now, I will only deal with 2 sages. I would not explain the rest because I already explained that in past videos. So we're going to the sage manuscript. That is here. That is manuscripts there. And I want you to know that this sage manuscript is referred to as the second man. I will let you know in advance that God made 2 men. They say God made man, well, He made 2 men, right? This now is the second man, the manuscript, right? Now a manuscript. What is a manuscript? What you're reading is a manuscript. It is written. Once it's written down, once it's documented, that is a sage. He's presenting himself immediately. So anywhere you take that, you take in a sage. So this is to understand it. Now we're going to sage 12 buildings. That's here. Yeah, the 12 disciples is same 12 disciples of Bible, right? Now this 12 buildings is literal history of Ram, are based on construction of 12 buildings throughout Bible and Ramayana. So I want you to focus on these 2 sages, and this one now is the first man that God created. The 12 buildings, they can refer to as first man, and the second man is 7 manuscripts. Now, understand these sages, how they work. 7 sages also refer to as 7 demons. Ram has these 7 demons into his backpack wherever he goes. It is a toolkit. Remember, this is a toolkit, and Ram is walking with that. Anything he wants to do or anything he wants to make, he has to dip into the toolkit. So what you get in is what they call the sages there. A simple way to understand it, I don't know, for instance, time. I was supposed to tell you that most people wear a watch. You have a sage there in your hand, because anywhere you go, you have to check the time. You see? So this is how that thing is made up. So you have all these essential things that you require, like for instance a toolkit to build anything, construct anything. That is a sage. So it's separated into 7 sages. Okay? Part 4. 7 sages construction. Now we're back at chart number 50 again. Now, I explained these sages already previous, but I'm going to explain the 2 sages again. I'm concentrating on these 2 sages here. Number 6 sage is first man. This first man now is the 12 disciples or the 12 buildings. Right? Now, when you go to Genesis 1:26, it tells you 12 forms. Now, I don't know if I explained forms, how to find forms. You look for nouns and pronouns in the verse, and you check that, and you will get the number of forms. So when this is what they do with this Bible. That is why you see people cannot understand it. You have to check the forms. When you check in Genesis 1:26, you get in 12 forms, referring to the 12 buildings as the first man. So when first man is 12 buildings. Now, number 7 stage is second man, that is here. 7 manuscripts. Genesis 1:27, 7 forms. You will find 7 forms. This is second man, right? 7 manuscripts. All right, moving on to part number 5. 2 stages again. We're dealing with this 2 stages. Now, first man, 12 buildings. Now, you go to Genesis 2:6-7. Give you 12 forms again, 12 buildings. This is first man created from dust and soil. You see, this man they created from dust and soil. Ram created 12 buildings with stone. That is what it means. So anybody they have problem with that now, they can come forward and refute. Yeah. So Ram created these 12 buildings with stone. So Ram created this first man from dust and soil. Now when we go to the second man now, you go to Genesis 2:8. You're getting the same 7 forms, 7 stages. Second man is referred to as 7 trees. These are the 7 manuscripts of 7 stages. All the manuscript of the stages. That is what that is all about. Now 7 forms, 7 stages, second man. Now Genesis 2:18, 7 forms, second man. We concentrated on him, right? It is not good for second man, 7 stages, to live alone. That is what that verse is saying, eh? So we go in now, Genesis 2:19. Present 12 forms again. Ram constructed 12 buildings with stone. That's 12 buildings with stone. He constructed first man with stone, right? Then he brought the second man, meaning the 7 manuscripts. Remember the second man is 7 manuscripts? 7 stages. The first man, he carried to the 12 buildings, the 12 forms. To see what Ram would name them. Name the first man 12 buildings. This is Ram taking the 7 stages in his backpack with him to construct 12 buildings. This is his toolkit. So reading this Bible, they must understand this is this is high science, and to know what they're reading. Now let's go to the ribs. We always hear about God made man. He take out a rib from the first man and he make a woman. So here we are talking Genesis 2:21, 12 forms. Again, you could check it on the verse. Then Ram put first man 12 buildings to sleep. Ram took out one of man's ribs. What is one of man's ribs? He took out the second man's ribs. Because there's 2 men in action here. Eh? This is all manuscripts of 7 stages. All records of 12 buildings. That's what it means. You go to Genesis 2:22, 7 forms. Ram named manuscripts of 7 stages second man. So he put a name for the second man here now. And this second man, in the Ramcharitamana is Sita. In this case, they call it woman. They didn't say Eve, no. They said woman. So it is very clear that from the Bible scripture is Sita. Now, Genesis 2:23, 12 forms, meaning the 12 buildings. Then the man said, that is first man said it. This now is the 12 buildings talking, eh? This is manuscripts of 12 buildings named woman Sita. She was taken out of first man 12 buildings. So the manuscript, they take out the 12 manuscripts, the 7 manuscripts from the 12 buildings. This is the second man. They take out this manuscript from the 12 buildings. That is what it's saying. Okay? Manuscripts is the ribs. Now another one is snake. We always hear that the snake tempted Eve in the Garden of Eden. Well, all right, let's see what it is this case say here. You go to chapter 3:1. You present 12 forms. Anytime you get 12 forms, meaning it's the 12 buildings. So snake here is referring to the 12 buildings. The 12 buildings asked the woman, the manuscript, which is Sita now, did God tell you not to eat? Now you have to understand what is the meaning, what is this author and is trying to say here, you know. It's 24 Hindu authors that wrote this. He said, did God tell you not to eat? We stop at that. What does that mean? Did God tell you not to write manuscripts? That is what it means. Now, from any tree, meaning from any building. in the garden in Lalchan, right? Now, chapter 3:2 presents 7 forms. So you know one time, that is the second man, or the 7 manuscript. What is it? What is this manuscript saying? We may eat, meaning we may write, the fruit of any tree, the manuscript of any building, right? Now you go to chapter 3:3. Except tree in middle, except book in fourth heaven. Right, we have it here. This is fourth heaven here. Except the book, you can write anything, but except that book, you cannot write that book. Because if you do, it means a fourth resurrection, right? You create the book, and book is without life. So the book this is third death immediately. This is why they say, if you do, you will die. It means that if you wrote the book, you're getting a third death in it too. So this is how this book was written, and you have to understand that. Anybody wants to refute, they must come forward. Part 6, Ram, Noah, flood. Well, you know, they talk about Noah and the flood. All the Christian historians make date for the flood. I want to know where they get them dates. I want to know how did they get them dates. You know what is the flood? The flood is this 2 heavens. 2 heavens are referred to as the flood. Remember, I keep saying that once you enter into Dwapara Yuga, you end up in water. That is a lie, right? So you end up in where they're making this book. This they call that, they start in the spiritual world. Ram, Noah is animate. He's appointed to carry 7 sages through flood. The 7 sages now, he's appointed to carry them through the flood. And what is the flood? 3rd and 4th heavens, through the Vedi. Right. Noah is entity of 7 sages. Let's go again. Now Noah is Ram, right? Now let's see in Genesis 6:18. Now God made a covenant with Noah. What is this covenant? You see, they have all these statements have been made, and you have to be able to decipher and analyze what they're talking about. Now, what the covenant is, the covenant are Hindu inventions. The inventions is a covenant. So you have 378 inventions here. All right, it is there. All right. Now that means covenant, inventions. You want to invent something or write something, that is a covenant, right? Now go on board Ark. Go on board with 378 inventions. That is what it is saying. Now, Ark equals to total inventions in numbers. So they look at, they say somewhere in the Muslim country in Turkey, they said the Ark is there and whatnot. They have the Ark. The Ark is the total number of inventions. That is what it is. So covenant equals inventions, and when they state, I will make a covenant, this is what God is saying in this verse, meaning I will make an invention, right? Now Genesis 7:1-5 present 96 form the chessboard. I keep talking about this chessboard because every book have this chessboard, and this is why I made the statement previous that there were no wars. Mahabharata talk about a war 18 years or I don't know how long. But what it meant, if you go and remember, the Bhagavad Gita was downloaded from the Mahabharata. When you go, I see the people talking the Gita. I don't know. You go to the first chapter, and you will see uncles and great grand uncles and everybody fighting one another. Big fight. And if you check, you will get 32 forms, 16 on one page and 16 in the other page. What it means, they play in chess. So people must understand that. So they're talking about a war. I'm supposed to explain that in more detail with the Bhagavad Gita itself. So every book they must go with in their toolkit, they must have the chessboard. Because as they get a little time, they play in chess. That is a Hindu game. The Christians try their best to steal it out from the Hindus. You see? So, and if you leave it a little bit longer, they make everything. This is in the scriptures here, and it is, go to Genesis 7, 1 to 5, you will find it. Where they put 7 pairs of animals and 7 pairs and a male and a female, you'll get 32 pieces. All right, part 7, Abraham. Now, Catholics, Christians, Jews, Muslims, all 4 groups have claimed Abraham as their father. Therefore, they belong to Abrahamic religions. That's how they belong to the religion, by claiming the name Abraham. Hindus who invented Abraham are completely out and have no claim to Abraham. So this is what, how did they become Abraham? What do they know about Abraham? Let's identify Abraham from Bible and prove ownership. Now, Genesis 12:2 is a making statement to 2 Abrahams here. Now, Brahma appoints Abraham in this verse. Who is this Abraham that was appointed? Now, this is Brahma. This is a Hindu book. Now, when you check, Abraham is Ram, appointing Ram to carry all of these things to Lanka, right? And then also in the other entity, this is 2 different entities. Abraham is 1,000 years. So understand that. See how I could find that. I have it analyzed here. I would not go through it. But Abraham is 2 entities. One, his name is Ram, and the other one is, he is 1,000 years. Okay? We're going to part 8, Ishmael and Isaac. Now, Ishmael is a very important person in this Bible, you know. He's so important that he is invisible. Nobody cannot see Ishmael. All they have is stories. And who is Ishmael? Ishmael is Siddhantic calendar. This is the calendar. When Ishmael, he is Siddhantic calendar. So we're going to get his date up to when this Siddhantic calendar was in effect. So Genesis 17:25 said he was 13 years old. What does 13 years mean? It means 13,000 years. And you go to 1824 to 32, it gives you a 500 years. You can do the calculation, simple arithmetic, and you will get 13,500 years to birth of CE calendar. I should put it up here. Yeah, this is it. Right? So you have the Siddhantic calendar coming down to 13,500 years. If you're checking it in BC, you will get a BC there too. So 13,500 years, and it transfer to the CE calendar at 0. That is Ishmael. You understand? So understand that and prove me wrong. Make all kind of stories with Ishmael. Okay, this Ishmael is the calendar, right? Now, Isaac. Who is Isaac? I don't know if you ever heard. Have you ever heard about Isaac?
No.
All right. Okay, we don't know about the Bible, but nevertheless, the question is, Isaac is a very important person in this Bible. Who is Isaac? Now, Isaac, from my research, is the Ramayana. You see this book? This is Isaac, the Ramayana. Isaac is not the Bible. Isaac is this. He's mentioned in the Bible, he's stated in the Bible, but Isaac is the Ramayana. I want everybody to know that. Now, you go to Genesis 25:20, and it said after 40 years, meaning after this 40 years is 77 CE. So we discussing Isaac here in chart number 52. Isaac Ramayana, is that there? Married to Rebecca. Who is Rebecca? Anybody ever check to see who is Rebecca? What is Rebecca's date of birth? I'll give you Rebecca's date of birth. Yeah, and I'll give you getting married to Rebecca. Who is Rebecca? This now is Bible. Bible is Rebecca, right? Now Rebecca Bible, this is Genesis 25:22. Rebecca, which is Bible, to have twins. What is this 2 twins what is this the twin here? All right, we're going to analyze it. 2 dates of birth for 2 timelines. What is the two timelines? 0 CE and 77 CE. This is the twin that the Bible made. The twin. Okay? Now, when you go to Genesis 25, 24 to 25, 24 to 25. The twin sons are 2 gunas out of these 3 gunas. These are 3 gunas here. So a twin out of these 2 is what was born. Right? Now, and they say the first one, they mentioned first one that came out is the first gunas. And what is the first guna? They start from 0. 0 is here. It starts here. The CE. So the first, they using the formula gunas here in this story. So the first guna start from 0. Name. Put a name for this first guna, so this first son. Esau. ESAU. This is Sattva formula. Alright? Now you go to Genesis 25, 26. The second one born now is the second gunas. And what is the second gunas now? Is Raja's formula. How we know that? It starts at 77 CE. It did not start in the first division. Alright? And this is Raja's formula. So understand this Bible. All you reading as a religion, this is heavy mathematics here that you don't know. The 2,000 years they have this in this Bible. Nobody know they have 3 formulas for in mathematics. And they're explaining Isaac and Rebecca and all of them. All right? So this is a good reason that they should come forward and refute and say I'm talking stupidness. All right. We're going to part 9. We're going to Isaac. This is Isaac, the Ramayana. And this is Rebecca Bible. So we go in here to find out, get what the story is stating here. Now, when you go to Genesis 26:1, so Isaac went to Abimelech the king. Abimelech. Who is Abimelech? Anybody ever know who are these characters in this book? They have all kind of names. They have no knowledge. Who is Abimelech? Ask any one of them. Right? Now, Abimelech is Vespasian. You remember Vespasian? He was the emperor of Rome. So this is 4th century history you get in here. Now, Genesis 26:8. What the verse is saying? Isaac, this fondling his wife Rebecca. This is what the verse is saying. Isaac fondling his wife Rebecca. Let them check it in Genesis 26:8. You go to 26:9. What is the verse saying? Vespasian, the emperor, this is Abimelech, summoned Isaac. He summoned the Ramayana. He called on the Ramayana. And hear what he's saying. I'll read the verse. Genesis 26:11. And Abimelech, this is the emperor, Vespasian, charged all the people, saying, he who touches this man and his wife shall surely be put to death. Vespasian issued an order. Whoever touches Ramayana or Bible shall be put to death. That tells you one time, not everybody or anybody could be owner of these scriptures. He hid it, right? Now you go to Genesis 26:25. And he built an altar there and called upon the name of Jehovah and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servant dug a well. What is the verse saying? Isaac, Ramayana, built an altar. What is the altar? Bible. It is from Ramayana, Bible was created. Understand that? So from Bible constructed from Ramayana. So one time you must know this is Hindu property. So refrain from reading this book. Just like I said to the pundits, do not read this book if you are not qualified. I will explain the qualification for this book later. Part 10. Now Kiskinda Kanda. Kiskinda Kanda. I just want to make a statement there on Kiskinda Kanda. Again, see if you can focus on the on this right. Now what you have in Kiskinda Kanda, if you want to find the exact year, that an event took place. Now, remember that what I presented as the day and night, which is 1,000 years each. So, within that 1,000 years, many events will take place. How will you know? And they're writing it. So, an easy way to know that each verse is comprised of 7 stages. So, these 7 stages, as I showed previously, we are following. When you are reading them books, you are really following them 7 stages. Wherever they go, it's them that going, and you following. So every verse is a different time and a different distance. How would we know what time and what distance? So I would not do the distance here. All I will do is the time and explain to you how to find the time. So you go to page 509, page 513 to 513, you get the verse 1 day. That is the first I have there, right? So that is 1,000 years AM, daylight time. That means this verse, and previous to that, they were traveling daylight. Now, this 1,000 years AM are divided into 28 verses. 28 divisions of travel time is first division. Meaning previous to that, you have 28 verses. Now, how would we know that? Remember, they're talking what events is taking place, you know. How we would know what time? So you have to divide that 28 verses by into the 1,000 years. You will get 35 years for each verse. For each verse, you will get 35 years. So each verse is presented events of 35 years daylight travel. Now, 35 years divided by total nouns and pronouns. Now, when you go to each verse, you're checking the forms, and the forms are now nouns and pronouns. And when you divide it, you will get how many in that verse, and you can say they spent so many years at this time. So that is how to get it. So people must understand that. So you can find the exact year for an event in your Ramcharita Manasa. Part 11, Genesis chapter 40. Now this is the story of Joseph. Now everybody knows the story of Joseph. But most Christians know the story of Joseph. And that is being taught from elementary school. I myself was taught that. Now I'm going to explain to you. All right, I think that this is what we need here. So you have now, they mention 3 dreams, meaning the 3 gunas, 1, 2, 3, with 3 formulas, right? Now what they're going to explain to you in this chapter 40 is how to identify the 3 gunas. This is mathematics, this is not our religion, you know. This is Hindu mathematics here. I don't think they even have that in their maths subject here. So you go to Genesis 49 to 10. What it said, grapevine with 3 branches. What are they talking about? They're talking about 3 zeros. These are 3, 1, 2, 3 zeros. Referred to as the 3 gunas with 3 formulas. This is the formula. How to identify the gunas. Now, in Genesis 40:11, it presents the Tamas formula. So Tamas formula is quite here, over here. You can focus on that. Now, what they said in the verse, they took king's cup, took 0, and replaced with starting point 1. So in Tamas formula here, they take out the 0. This is what the verse is saying, eh? They take out the 0 and replace with starting point 1. So you're starting at 1, but you have to give it back to complete journey. So this is so to understand that Bhagavad Gita said it's thief the first division, but you have to put back the first division in the end, right? Genesis 40:13. We go to Sattva. Sattva is up here. Right? Now Genesis 40:13. The cup now is 0. Given at start. See the 0 there at start? There is no return. This you don't have to return. So you reach from 0 to 0, you complete your journey. Now you have Raja's formula, which is in the middle here. Genesis 40:20. They refer to as wine steward. you have to be able to analyze what are they referring. The wine steward there is the PM, meaning night. And they refer to the chief baker, AM. Now, you have PM, which is night here, and the chief baker here is AM. Now, Genesis 40:21, the wine steward, PM, put at starting point in the middle. When you're starting the night, you can only start after midday. So this is half the time. Now, Genesis 40:22 said the chief baker, which is AM here now, they execute him. What is the verse telling you? It did not start at the first division. So you have to understand it, what the author is trying to tell you. And if you feel it's religion here, this is mathematics, right? Now we go to Genesis 4, chapter 43, the Sattva formula. We're going back there. Now they give you an idea how to identify Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, the 3 zeros. Now they're going to give you examples here, now presenting the examples. So 43:15, they present Benjamin. Benjamin is the youngest of the 12 brothers, and Benjamin is 0. So we're dealing, as you start with 0, you're starting with Sattva formula. 43:16, arrived at midday, daylight travel, AM, right? 43:25, from midday, night travel to PM. 43:29, Joseph saw Benjamin. What he saw? Benjamin is 0. He saw Benjamin at 24 hours. Journey at 24 hours completed. This is how you analyze this 0. Sattva formula. So people, this is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, so I don't know what the pundits reading. So they must take note of that. Genesis chapter 44, we go to Tamas formula. This is the third one here. Now 44:2, and the people can go in the Bible and refute me, you know, because this is what is it saying. I'm not really reading out the whole verse, but I give you the verse. So chapter 44:2, cup is 0 again. It's stolen. As we explained in the first example, they stole the 0 to 1, that division. That is what they say. 44:3, morning, AM, meaning AM, started without 0. Okay? The cup stolen. So you had to start at 1. 44:12, cup 0 stolen, found in Benjamin's sack. When you're reading the story, they put the cup into Benjamin's sack to make him look like he stole the cup. Right? Now he starts at 1. 44:17, Benjamin must return the cup. This is what it means to complete journey. So that is Tamas formula. That is in your Bible. This is what I'm reading here. They must come forward and refute my claim. Now you have Genesis chapter 44. We're going to read Raja's formula in the middle here. 44:26. AM means brothers. Brothers are stated there. Brothers cannot start journey if boy, meaning Benjamin, which is PM, did not start. So what it's saying that Benjamin must start, but Benjamin is PM, so he can have to start here in the middle of the first division, right? Start at midday is Raja's formula. 44:32 PM, again, Benjamin boy starts at evening. 44:33 to 34, for boy PM to complete journey. The brothers now, for him to complete this journey, brothers AM must deliver half the division. You see, I have the half here to Benjamin, which is PM, to boy to complete journey. So this is what we should say, analysis of these 3 gunas. That is in Bible and in Ramcharita and Bhagavad Gita, all them books. And nobody to this date have any knowledge what these 3 gunas are. Okay? Part 12. Now, I always keep saying that after 12,000 years, after 12,000 years, that's the thing. Okay? Ram returned to India, to Ayodhya. Now, I would not go through the verse in detail here, But you go to chapter 45. From chapter 45 presents a detailed analysis of Ram return to India. This isn't from Bible, eh? This is from Bible. You have it in the Ramcharitamanas to us. Made that statement before, but this is from Bible. So I'll just read a few snippets from these verses here. Instruction to Joseph, Ram to return to India. Remember, Joseph here now is referred to as the Hindus, eh? Joseph, the entity Joseph is entity Ram, right? Ram assembled the 7 sages for return to India. Hindu families arrived in India. List of Hindus who entered India. They gave a list of people who came. Hindus welcomed in India. Hindus granted stay in India. Hindus talked about wandering years, meaning the years there in Lanka. Hindus farmlands. Hindus acquired property in India. Hindus blessed on return. Hindus blessed those who built these 12 buildings in Lanka. 51 to 26 Hindus, history of Hindus recorded in Ramayana up to 3rd generation meant that they probably took about 50 to 75 years to construct the Ramayana. At least that is what you can probably check it in another manner, but I will leave it like that. Now you want to make any, as you're fresh there, you want to make any question there? I have 2 or 3 points to make again, and I will finish up.
No, you could go ahead and make the points, because I have some questions from earlier, so I don't want to backtrack too far.
Okay. All right. Now, the root of AIT, Ramcharita Manasa. The root of AIT. I shall put this book forward here. Now, the mastermind behind this Aryan invasion theory was Max Muller. All right? All right. In the meanwhile, you can focus on this. I wonder if you could, better you hold that there. You can focus on this verse here, right? And we're going to deal with that verse. Now, the mastermind behind this Aryan invasion theory was Max Muller. The root of his thesis was 1500 BC. Yeah, that is where it is, okay? This is 12,000 years Siddhantic calendar, right? Now, therefore, we must find this root timeline. And this is the root timeline and I'm presenting here. And that is from page 797, verse 7. Okay? Now, what is it saying? Rama is birthless. Rama is birthless. What it means? It is an entity. It is not a human birth. Verse state that entity Ram reigned for 11,000 years. If you can read it there, you will see he reigned for 11,000 years. Okay? Ram is named for Siddhantic calendar. So what it's telling you, once it's giving you this time, that is also the calendar. So the name Ram is also the calendar. So you can say Ram is calendar, and also it is the character that was appointed, which was an entity, right? So this is the calendar that's coming down. That is Ram too, right? Now when you go to page 804, verse 3. All right, that's one there. When you go to page 804, verse 3, verse states that Ram would rule for yet another 1,000 years. If you can focus on this part here, right? He reflected that he would rule in his father's kingdom for yet another 1,000 years. What does that mean? You have 11,000 years added to 1,000 years. How much is that?
12.
That is 12,000 years. So we're talking here from 11,000 years. And you add another 1,000 years, you reach 12,000 years when he left to come back to Ayodhya. This is root of timeline of Max Muller for Aryan invasion theory. Now, how did pundits and historians did not see these timelines? How they didn't see that? I find these things very clear. So what I say, blind and dumb people reading these scriptures, they have to go back and examine their head or examine their eye, because these things are very, very clear, right? Now, literal history, Bible and Ramcharita Manasa are 2 books of literal history of Ram. He was discoverer and inventor. Teachers presenting history from these 2 books must be qualified with 3 subjects. So I'm going to give you back, I present this thing before, but I'm going to give you back the 3 subjects that you have to be qualified in before you can teach these scriptures, the both of them. And the both of them are mentioned there. Now, Dharma Yoga, study of literal history of Ram, right? This is this area here for the 12,000 years. Karma Yoga is a study of birth and death world. All right, but let me move it out to present the right now. Karma Yoga is this traveling through the flood or traveling through waters through these 2 divisions and the Vedi. All right, now that is the study. When you want to study birth and death, you will get here. I present 6 resurrections and 4 deaths. This is what, if you want to study that, this is what it is. Karma Yoga. And Jnana Yoga, study of spiritual world, meaning this is how Ram transported the 7 sages with 378 spirits on journey through 4 heavens and 4 yugas. To be qualified in these 3 subjects, you are called a Sankhya yogi. So understand that. They present these things in this book, and people reading this and have no knowledge because you're not qualified. I keep telling everybody, they're not qualified. You must be qualified in them 3 subjects. If you're not qualified, both for Bible too. So the Bible people they must refrain from reading this book if they are not qualified. That is a Hindu book. 3 subjects. All teachers of these 2 books who are not qualified with 3 subjects must be dumped and stopped by Hindu law. I want you to pay attention to that. Pundits fail to understand Hindu law. This is stated very clearly in latter part of Gita chapter 18. Go to the latter part of chapter 18 and it's telling you have to be qualified with 3 subjects. Okay? Dumb teachers continue to present Ram as a mythological character. Refrain from presenting Ram as a mythological character. You are distorting my ancestors' history. Right? Pastors jumping on stage as if under a chokehold, quoting from Bible, yet presenting a vision and illusion of that which is not written. This is a symptom of mad and deranged characters. These characters on the stage, in front of the pulpit, are mad and deranged characters. I'm telling them that. Because you're behaving like somebody choking you on the stage and you don't know what you're reading. To teach Bible, you must have 3 subjects. This is Hindu law. Bible is a Hindu book. History books. Christian historians and church present Columbus and Marco Polo as discoverers. They were thieves, looters, and murderers. These stink scums entered foreign lands to disrupt peace and create havoc. This false history peddled by historians and church must be dumped and replaced by literal history of Ram in these 2 books, Ramcharitamana and Bible. These are the literal history of Ram. These are the books that have to replace all these stupid books that the Christian present. All history books of the world presented by church are false. Christian history constructed by historians and church must be dumped. All right, I think I made my point there, and I should get some good questions here now from there. Let me hear.
I think the latter part was clear.
All right, all right.
But they had some stuff that I mainly looked at the couple of pages that he missed in between. But with the 4th resurrection, 3rd death, I didn't catch that piece exactly.
But all right, like what it is mentioning that if you know what the Bible, if in the Bible they say, if you should eat of that fruit, meaning if you write that book, and if you do, meaning you make a 4th resurrection. But if you make a 4th resurrection, you will die because the book has no life.
But so what you're talking about, if you're like how you're talking about people
if you're right. Now what is it telling you? That the original people that went,
right,
with all of this information and carry back all of this manuscripts,
Right.
to other people to write, you know.
Right.
So this is what they are trying to tell you in the Bible here. So what they do now, these things, this book that is being written, this is what I've been saying it is what manipulated or presented in a different format with what we would call that you have to analyze to find the truth. Because he brought the truth for you. You now writing this book, and this is what is presenting. That is why you have to analyze it back to get the literal meaning. So in this case here now, when he said that you're not supposed to write the book, and if you write the book, you make a resurrection, but the book now has no life, so is a death. So this is what it is saying, right? Now that needs a little time to explain from the Bible there. But I was explaining that many times in the past, and nobody seemed to understand it because this is the birth and death world, which is called karma yoga.
Yeah. Okay, I thought it meant that like how you say people they're taking parts and they're making their own version. I thought it was related to that, but it's not that. Is if you copy the original story.
Yeah, you copy, but you did not present it literal meaning.
Yeah.
This is what they call the metaphor. You present a metaphorical meaning to the literal manuscripts. So
okay.
that is why I say all these books are metaphors from start to end. Are all metaphors. You have to analyze that. This is why I said that they have no body. All the brains I have in this world, they have no body to write anything like that. Our Hindu ancestors were masters of that.
Yeah.
You see? And if you check carefully and with the understanding, if you pay attention, you will begin to understand how did they write that and up to this date. Look, this is thousands of years, you know. And they're reading, they're studying this in universities and things, and not one person has come close to understanding them books. All they're going is with the metaphors, the story, and you cannot understand the book with that.
This one with the 7 demons, 7 sages, and it had mentioned the 3 gunas, where the 3 gunas, you can see him, but you don't know his tactics. So with the 7 demons, and you can't escape.
Yeah, what has happened here? This is referred to as 7 demons also.
Right.
Ram is taken that. When he let loose them demons,
right,
you cannot understand it. That's why nobody can understand it.
Okay.
So it's a demon, and that demon will wreck you. This is what I'm saying. The pastors are on stage jumping up, explaining that same Joseph there.
Right.
As if he under a chokehold. It's them demons, the 3 gunas choking him. He don't understand it. He cannot understand that. So he's trying to make a story for you to understand. He don't understand that.
Okay.
So in other words, Ram has unleashed the author. This is 24 Hindus who wrote this. Have unleashed these gunas onto these people reading.
Yeah.
So they will always appear like if they're on a chokehold or they're jumping up and prancing up and giving you an impression like he gets some, how they call it? God into him or the spirit into him.
Yeah.
Is the demon into him. All right.
One thing I had mentioned here, which was the size of Lanka. I remember reading something recently, because you know now it's Pitchy Patch.
Yeah.
And they talk about the Garud Purana and stuff like that. And they give the size of the earth in the Garud Purana and the size of the lower realms. They have dimensions. I don't know if you ever
No, well, they're not referring to the yugas there.
Right.
They make a dimension.
Right.
They're not giving you in miles and thing, you know.
No, it was something else.
Right. So what we are saying here, they are far from understanding what they are talking about. What we are talking about, there's an area for these 4 heavens here.
Right.
And we're dealing with this. This is called here the Ramcharita Manasa, the area of what we will call the holy lake or something so. So they give you, the Bible give you a dimension 1,500 miles long and 1,500 miles the length and width is the same as a square.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but they give you other dimensions from other Bibles, you know. I just pick out from the Good News Translation Bible, which appear to be, because they remember them transferring this.
Yeah.
from the Hindu writing, they don't understand what they're writing, you know. So they try, they do not know that they are referring to these two heavens here, you know.
Right.
You understand? How the verse is presented there, it is just that they take it up to, each writer take it upon themselves to make a dimension. So I get a 1500 years dimension, 1500 miles square.
Right.
So this is what I go with. Now
Okay.
the Ramcharita Manasa put 1,000 trillion spirits. Now I don't know what is the dimension of the spirit. What is the measurement of the spirit?
Right.
So we don't know. So, but whatever is, they put it there.
Okay.
So let the scholars, the Brahmacharya, the Sankhya and the Swami get what is a spirit. Them studying, then they study in the book.
Yeah. Okay, well, I just thought I'd mention it here because I remember, well, probably Lanka is like the 7 lower realms, like probably have some.
No, they're not. They have no knowledge. Anytime they talk in 7, they're not talking more than 7 sages, you know.
Right.
Like to understand that. And what are these 7 sages? These 7 sages are toolkit. Time and distance and whatnot to do your repairs and to go about your work in Lanka. Because they carry that. I explained that in the last time.
Right.
Right. It's more like a toolkit. You need to put up a building. You look for your time when you're going to start.
Right.
You look for the gunas, which is measurement. This is mathematics.
Yeah.
How to set up the 54 forms. You have that with you. That have chessboard and everything. When you have time there, you play chess or you play. They also they have dice. They have all kind of sports.
Right.
These are all in that Holy Spirit. You must carry that, and also medical equipment and whatnot. And then the Om people, they don't understand it. I don't have a picture of it here. I explained it previous. It is, telling you, it have a square on the top. It's supposed to be a star. A star is 0, and it's star, and then you will see a tree. You have to understand that the Hindus make these numerals, you know. So 0 to 3 is 4 heavens or 4 yugas. And the 0 to 9, which they have 0 to 9, is this 9. 0 to 9 is 10 numerals. Now what I keep saying 10 numerals, but it's not only 10. What they're trying to tell you, with 0 to 9 you can have any combination of numerals.
Right.
That is what it means. So you can use that for calculating anything. Right? So, but they give you the first 0 to 9 in this Vedi. All right?
All right. All right, well, that was it for the questions because that was the things that jump out to me. Some of them was things that were like I said, with the 3 gunas, that you pages that you skipped in this.
All
so
right.
I was wondering, just from reading it.
Yeah.
And then
All right.
resurrection. Well, I didn't quite grasp it, but the second time I think I get it. I now realize what you're talking about with the toolkit, which is the inventions.
These are inventions you make to
The things that
carry.
they went with.
You went with.
Yeah.
And you carry. They went. If
So
you
they
read,
went with the numerical system, they went with time, they went with the calendar, they went with the 3 gunas, which is mathematics.
yeah,
Those are things that they carry with them.
you carry with that. You have the knowledge on that, and now that will apply to whatever you're doing. If somebody's sick, you take the medical equipment.
Yeah, other inventions.
The
they might
time
have,
you want to play some, what do you call it, dice or chess, you pull out that.
Polo, I think I mentioned polo.
All of that they have, and then if you want to, when you want to put up the building, you must have mathematics.
So then anytime you hear about a war in the Bible, that is sports.
This is what they're doing.
Sports.
Sports and building. Because what they're doing here, you see, they mention, let's say, Ishmael here. This is Ram here. These are the calendars.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, the name for the Hindus have it Siddhantic calendar, but you cannot find the name Siddhantic calendar in the book, you know.
Yeah.
You understand? Because they put another name for it. So this is what they're doing right through. You understand? So this is what we call the metaphors of the highest.
Yeah.
They tie up every man. This is why I say the Bible itself is choking this pastor on the stage, you know. When you see him prancing up, is the Bible choking him? So they must know that they have no knowledge on this book. Nobody have, they must go the same road I take.
Right.
To change from the metaphors to the literal history.
Yeah.
and extract it back, because they present them, that's in these manuscripts here, they present the literal history. This is stated there, you know. But how they present it now in this metaphorical form, tie up. You understand?
Yeah.
So this is what they need to do. What I want to say, that this doctrine, let the Hindus, I don't know why they can't step out of this of this kind of world like if they don't know anything. No part of the world you go in a debate and a Hindu will come forward, you know.
Yeah.
They always hiding. So if you so important and you don't know your book, that is why you're hiding. You have the Christians, he come and he claim doctrine of discovery. You have the Muslims, he come and he said Allah come, and that they claim that. You have the opportunity now to present your doctrine of Hindu's origin. Once Hindu, always Hindu. Hindus occupied the world before people could speak a language. So anything anybody own, they must prove their ownership. I want them to come and prove their ownership for this Bible. All right? And so I'm making this statement clear for everybody. Prove that this Bible belongs to Christians. Likewise, the Muslim claiming temples, I explained it there. Prove your ownership. When did you come there? Didn't you see that there?
Yeah.
So who are the owners? You understand? Yeah. But the Hindus so clumsy. Everybody presenting a doctrine of discovery. You cannot. In India too, you know. All they're doing, they remain in the mandir or the temple. I don't know if that will help. And they go in with everything. So I have to say something terribly wrong with their teachers. And they have no right to be teaching people, because they don't have the knowledge of the scripture, they don't have knowledge of history, and like they don't have a vision to see what is going on. You understand? This is happening right now presently in India. Yeah. The WAF come and claiming temple everything. You don't see that?
Yeah.
You're claiming temple. So wait a minute, you just sitting down in the temple there and Ram will come and help you?
Yeah.
You don't know, you're reading a history of Ram, and it is not no religion. The same thing with this Christian. You're using this book to fool people because you can't understand it. Come forward and refute my claim that this is not a Hindu book. Come and tell me that. And I show them from beginning. I only did chapter Genesis and I only give a little snippets there.
Yeah.
But that should direct them quickly to go and check what they are talking about in Genesis. Understand Isaac? Isaac is Ramayana. Rebecca is Bible. Understand Ishmael? Ishmael is calendar. Understand Joseph? Joseph returned as Ram, returned to India. You understand? So understand Genesis. Read it as it's supposed to be. Read the literal history. Anybody know about that? So I challenge them to come forward and refute my claim.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Thanks for being here. And
yep. Okay.
Sankhya Television, the first Hindu TV station in Trinidad.